Okay, so today I want to talk about commitment. And so the definition of commitment, the state of quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc. Two definitions: state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc., or an engagement or obligation that restricts freedom of action. A couple interesting definitions there. But so, reason I want to talk about commitment is a couple reasons. One, when it comes to recovery or sobriety or walking through an active addiction, your commitment level is everything. Without being fully committed to your sobriety, without being fully committed to that change that you're trying to make, it's not happening. So right now, with everything that's going on in our world, I feel like we've lost the meaning of the word commitment. I feel like that's something that has just gone to the wayside as a society. And that's obvious in a million different areas, right? So with divorce rates, with families falling apart, with relationships, with we just as a country don't commit to things like we used to. We used to have a founding set of principles and beliefs, and those have kind of morphed and changed, and our commitment isn't there with certain things. Not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent. Again, I try to steer very clear of all political agendas on this, just simply because, in my humble opinion, sobriety is bigger than whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, a Christian, an atheist, any of that stuff. You can't figure out those other things until you're off of that substance. So step one is getting clean. Somewhere down the road you can address political views, religion, family values, moral ethic. Like, you can figure out all the other stuff, but in my opinion, the first step to kind of getting your life together is sobriety. And I don't ever want to deter somebody from reaching out to me because I've got a different political view than they do, a different outlook on something than they do. I see something different than they do. So I try to steer clear of a lot of that stuff. But commitment is a key to sobriety, and right now with everything that's going on, I worry about how committed people are. So it's no secret our world's changing. I don't think we know what normal is anymore. I think we're all kind of waiting to see what that's going to look like. But we're definitely walking through, we're at a crossroads as a society, as a country, as a nation. And nobody really knows how this is going to play out. So as addicts, we want to fall back into normalcy. We're creatures of habits very much. So, when something happens, we want to revert back to our substance. That's just how we've dealt with it for so long. That's how we mask feelings. That's how we mask emotions. That's how we avoid dealing with real issues. We mask those feelings with a substance. I don't care if it's a drug, an alcohol. It can be a million different things that you can be addicted to that you can mask your feelings with. So to walk through that takes a level of commitment that most people won't ever understand. And what worries me right now with everything that's going on is how committed are people to their sobriety, to their success, to walking through this thing. And I know that, there's a million things going on in the world right now. You've got COVID, you've got protests, riots, you've got racial tensions, you've got tensions between society and law enforcement, you've got tensions between society and government, you've got tensions between different sides of society. There's just a lot of tension and a lot of things that are changed, and addicts aren't the best at dealing with change. We like patterns, we like things to be certain ways, and with all these changes, I just wonder how many people are reverting back to their old ways. I haven't read anything or seen anything that the overdose numbers are going down. Haven't seen anything that they've gone up, but That's not something that I don't know where to check that on a daily basis. But you've still got, 140-ish people a day overdosing. You've still got, 140 people being taken away from their families. You've got fathers and husbands and brothers and sisters and moms and aunts and grandmas and grandpas, and you've got so many people that this is taking away, that this is cutting their life short, and it's because they couldn't stay committed to the process of getting clean. They couldn't stay on that path. That commitment wasn't there. Their why wasn't big enough to pull them through. Their why wasn't big enough to pull them to the other side. And you have to have a big why. That has to be a big part of your commitment. Again, I can only talk firsthand or personal experience, but for me, at the end, I had a meeting with my family, knew how much pain I was causing my kids. I also knew that I had pushed my wife as far as I could possibly push her. I knew that if I reverted back to using that I would lose her. And between the pain I had caused my children, the disappointment in my daughter's eyes, the day we had that little meeting, and the fear of knowing that my wife and mine's marriage was hanging on by a shoestring, that was enough to keep me committed to the process. And you need that for the first year and a half or so. I mean, you need it forever, but the first year and a half is the toughest part of walking through an addiction or getting sober, just because all those feelings and emotions you've masked for so long, you have to reacclimate yourself to dealing with those, how to feel things, how to walk through life without masking everything with a substance. So, there's the first year and a half is the most challenging when it comes to that, in my opinion. But you have to, going into it, and it's critical at the very beginning, you have to have that commitment to the end result. You have to have that commitment to your sobriety. You have to have that commitment to getting clean, changing your life. And without that, you're done. You're not going to succeed. And with where we are as a country, I worry how many people are out there that all this stuff started when they just made the choice to try to get clean, when they just started in the infancy of their sobriety or their recovery, or whatever you want to call it. That it's something that's hit me real hard. There's people who require a group setting to walk through this, and I would imagine that there weren't group meetings, that was all taken away from people. There's people who are too scared to deal with what's going on in the world right now, so they're masking those feelings and those fears with their substance of choice. You can come up with a million excuses, and as addicts, we're the best in the world there is at coming up with excuses or justifying certain actions or behaviors of ours. But again, without that commitment to getting clean, without that commitment to being sober, it doesn't really, it doesn't matter. If you don't have that, you've got nothing. And that commitment is different than your motivation. Motivation kind of comes and goes, right? So the motivation for the moment can escape you. The motivation, for example, the last 2 days, yesterday and today, going to the gym was super tough on me. I tweaked my back. If any of you who know me know, I've had some serious back issues the vast majority of my life, and so when it acts up, I pump the brakes. Yesterday, I went to the gym and literally walked on the treadmill for maybe 15 minutes in a slow walk, like a super slow walk. I don't even think I hit a mile. It was I just wanted to see if I could get it to loosen up, and I really couldn't. So I left. I didn't lift, didn't do anything. Today went in. It loosened up a little bit more. It was a little bit better. I think I walked and got to a decent walk. Didn't try to jog, didn't try to run, didn't try to lift. I think I got right at 3 miles, just over 3 miles in today. My motivation hasn't been there to go to the gym for the last couple of days. I'm in pain. I don't feel well. I know I'm not going to perform well. So my motivation hasn't been there, but my commitment hasn't gone anywhere. My commitment to showing up every day, my commitment to, first thing in the morning, going to that gym, and my commitment is much easier at this point in my recovery, just because I know this lane now. I've done the work on myself. I know who I am. I know where this lane leads me. I know if I do A, B, and C, I can expect these certain results. I know I'll feel this certain way. I know I can do these certain things. And it kind of keeps me in check. It's kind of a checks and balance thing. So motivation will kind of come and go. Commitment has to be there. And commitment, I can't stress enough how important that is to recovery. It is key. And so as I always do, if you or anybody is in the early phases of recovery or sobriety or completely lost active addiction, but especially the ones who decided to try to make changes and have, really in the last 4 or 5 months, those are the people I worry about. Those are the people who I don't know. I don't want to say it can't be done, because I don't know, but it's definitely a tough spot for them to be in, deciding to make that big of a life change, and then shortly following all these changes in the world, things being shut down, people losing their jobs, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, you're trapped in your house, which means for a lot of us, we're trapped in our heads, which means, pain and challenges and issues that we don't necessarily want to deal with are going to come up, and that's a recipe for somebody who's new in their sobriety to fail. And so, again, I think it can be done. I still think you can walk through it, but that commitment's going to have to be a monstrous commitment at this point. So, if you or anybody is in that situation, reach out, let me know, check on them, even if you don't let me know, just reach out to them and, hey man, I just wanted to see how you're doing. You doing all right? I have a handful of people who have reached out to me at some point for some kind of a substance abuse issue, and it's always a delicate thing for me to reach out to them. I use words like, hey man, I was thinking about you, just wanted to check on you, how is everything, how are you doing, I miss you, if you need anything let me know. I typically, unless they've really opened up the lines of communication on sobriety and recovery, I typically don't ask those specific questions to people who are in that space, just because it's such a personal thing. I feel like it's something that if they want to talk about, they'll reach out to me. Now, if I see an issue or if I see a problem, I'll definitely say something. But as far as just in passing conversation, I typically don't reach out with that kind of stuff. So I understand it's not an easy thing to bring up, but with everything that's going on right now, it's not a bad idea. This is something I'm very passionate about, and I get that, but this is also a life and death thing. And I don't think I can put into words strong enough to express to you that I shouldn't be here. I truly shouldn't. I should have overdosed half a dozen times minimum. And then just looking back now at the amount of pills I was taking, it is amazing to me that I'm still here. Like it's truly amazing to me. When I've talked to doctors and other pill addicts and told them what I used to take, even people who are heavy into it look at you like, what are you serious? You did what? Every day? And that was just my normal. That's just what I did. So the fact that I'm still here, it really touches a special place in my heart. And if I can prevent, some little girl from losing her daddy, somebody from losing their father, their uncle, their grandpa, their mother, their aunt, their sister, their cousin, if I can prevent some parent from burying their child, if I can prevent somebody from sticking that needle in their arm and turning to heroin, if I can, just anybody in that active addiction place, that space of just pure hell, if I can reach anybody there and cut that time that they're in that place shorter than it would normally be, that's everything to me. That's why I do this. That's why I'm so passionate about this. I want everybody who is in that place to feel what I feel right now. And again, it takes commitment. You have to walk through hell to get here, but it's so worth it. I can't even put into words. So, you know, if you do know somebody out there, reach out to them, check on them. You don't even have to bring it up. Just hey, how you doing, man? Just wanted, you popped into my head. I was thinking about you. Just wanted to check on you. You doing all right? Anything I can do for you? You know, hey, check out this guy's podcast, or, you know, go check out this guy's blog, or, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be a heavy thing. It can be just a light in passing thing. But right now, with everything that's going on, it's the perfect recipe for people trying to recover to fall back into active addiction. It's the perfect recipe right now. And, you know, I haven't seen anything showing the death counts or the overdoses are going down. I haven't seen anything that shows that people aren't, you know, slowing down on their drug use or their drinking or any of that stuff. I haven't seen anything like that. So I would actually be willing to bet a lot of money that it's gone up since all this has gone on. I bet a lot of money that it's gone up, and probably a fair amount. So, you know, with that said, these are challenging times. This is a scary period that we're walking through as a country. I personally feel like we're at a crossroads. I don't think how things will ever be again. I'm not saying things can't be good again, but I just feel like we've crossed too many lines as a country for things to ever go back to how they were. I think that we're going to kind of have to find a new normal, and you know, kind of figure that out as we go. But it's the perfect recipe right now for somebody in active addiction, or somebody who's trying to get cleaned up, fall back into active addiction. It's the perfect time for somebody to use a little bit more, to try to, you know, hit a little bit harder on, you know, that with that drug, or drink a little bit more, or, you know, just do this a little bit more. You know, it's crazy times, and, you know, again, as addicts, we're the best in the business at coming up with excuses or reasons to justify our usage. So in these crazy times, those people are pretty susceptible. Those people are very vulnerable, and this isn't a good time in the world to be vulnerable. So, you know, check on people. You never know what somebody else is walking through, and I know this sounds hokey and cliche and all that stuff, but I truly mean it from the bottom of my heart. Do something nice for somebody today. You know, pay for somebody's lunch, pay for somebody's cup of coffee, hold a door open, tell somebody how nice they look, you know, whatever, just something. You don't know what other people are going through. You don't know the life that somebody else is living. You don't know what it's like to walk in somebody else's shoes. And the world needs as much positivity right now as humanly possible. We need to love and support and embrace and really help bring the good out in people, not just keep hammering everybody with this negative bullshit that we're hit with constantly. It gets old, it gets draining, it's tiring, it's frustrating. It's the way that the world is now, but you know, it doesn't have to be that way, and it doesn't have to be how you are with people. You can still be nice, you can still be kind, you can still go out of your way to do something nice for somebody. And you don't know how that will, you know, what that will do for somebody. You don't know how dark of a place somebody's in, and you shining a little bit of light their way, the impact that will have. So, you know, please keep that in mind. Don't buy into all the bullshit. Like I say, do your own research, look into your own stuff, dig up your own facts, educate yourself. Just because it's online doesn't mean it's true. Just because your friend told you it doesn't mean it's accurate. Just because news networks say so doesn't mean it's true. So, you know, with that said, do something nice for somebody. Check on that person, you know, who's struggling. And all of you who have supported these last few videos and everything I'm trying to do, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. You know, the people who share these videos, the people who, you know, tag people and it means the world to me. I can't even tell you, I can't build this platform without people's help. And, you know, I will open up a recovery center. I will change the way that the world views addicts and addiction, and I will help many people get their lives back. I will help many people come out of living in a pure hell to living an amazing life, and realizing that there is something special about them. And you know, that's my commitment. That's what I'm committed to. That's what I'm going to do. And you know, in this current world that we're living in, commitment is a weird word. And make no mistake about it, it takes real commitment to walk through addiction. Real commitment to do the work on yourself that you need to do to heal yourself and understand yourself and become who you were meant to become. And in these times, it's challenging for people to stay committed to things. So, you know, let's put our arms around people who need to have arms put around them. Let's embrace the people who need to be embraced. We can write our own narrative. And in the recovery world, we need to really put our arms around each other right now and do everything we can for those people who are, you know, starting down this path or have just started down this path. You know, if you know anything about overdoses, you know that the vast majority of overdoses happen after short-term treatment facilities. So, you know, somebody will go into a 30-day treatment facility, come out, use again, and hit themselves with the same amount that they did before they went into the treatment facility, and their body can't handle it, and they die. That's the vast majority of overdoses. I would imagine through this pandemic and through these, you know, riots and through everything that's going on in the world, that there's a lot of those happening right now, and that just breaks my heart. So please, you don't know what somebody's going through, you don't know where somebody's at, reach out, show somebody you love them, let them know you're thinking of them. If there's somebody you know and you just don't know what to say or how to approach it, message me with their info and you know what you know they struggle with, and I'll randomly reach out to them. I've got no problem doing that, none at all. So you know, like this video, share this video, comment, tag people who you know needs to see this. Now's the time to come together, not pull apart, and that's something that I think in the addiction and recovery world we really need to commit to doing. So there you have it, guys. There will be a few more podcasts like this, a very basic setup. After that, after we have a few under our belt, we will start having people on, and we're going to change the setup a little bit. We're going to have a couple different cameras, a couple different views. I'm going to have a thing for people to write in and ask questions. I do get some messages, you know, we go over this or love this, would love to hear your thoughts on this type of thing. So, you know, we'll start bringing in questions, topics that people would like me to talk about. And we'll also be doing it where it's an interactive thing through some of the social medias. So that's my plans for the future with this thing, but there's going to be a few more like this, and then we'll start kind of cranking it up a little bit, just trying to get our bearings and understand how all this stuff works. And also, I do need somebody who is a content creator, somebody who specializes in, you know, creating content, social media, recording videos, editing videos, all that kind of fun stuff. Somebody who can help with this damn soundboard. I also need somebody who is good at nonprofits. I started down that rabbit hole, and that's something that I need some help with. So, you know, if you know anybody or this pulls on your heart at all, you know, let me know. Anything I can do to help create this platform, I'm going to do. That miserable place of active addiction, that pure hell, I need to reach people there. I need to shine a light in that very, very dark area, and that's what I'm going to do. So again, thank you for your support. I love you guys. All the best. Stay committed to your sobriety, and do something nice for somebody today. Man, this world needs it. Enough of this negative bullshit. Post something nice, say something nice, do something nice. Reach out to that friend, just tell them you love them. Just do something good. Let's start feeding this world with good, and maybe we can get rid of some of this bullshit. Take care, guys.